FPL Super Carry.
Thank you very much, muchas gracias. I'm here with Doinby after FPX qualifies for the semifinals after a spectacular performance. Doinby, what does it mean to you to make it to your very first Worlds semifinals?
Doinby 对于你而言的话，可以来到在第一个世界赛就直接打到4强，对你而言是什么意义？
证明了自己吧，因为之前一直都没有进那个世界赛嘛，没有机会进世界赛嘛。但那并不是我菜吧，可能证明这我还是有实力进世界赛。
It's about proving myself. Before this, I've never been into Worlds, and I've always doubted if it was because I wasn't good enough, but this proves that I am actually good enough to make it here at Worlds.
Super Carry Doinby showing up. Now about proving yourself, after the group stage, there were some question marks about FPX's level. Do you think you've proven that also the team is good enough to make it to a final at Worlds? And how far are we away from seeing the real FPX?
打完小组赛之后，有很多人质疑 FPX 实力到底有没有像大家想的这么强。那这一次你是可以打到4强赛，甚至有可能继续往这个决赛去迈进的话，你觉得是不是证明了 FPX 的队伍实力也是非常的坚强？然后我们离看到 FPX 的100%的发挥还有多远？
只能说小组赛的话，我们就大家都很紧张，很久没有比赛嘛。然后就是 BOE 的话，大家都没打过世界赛，每个选手我们5个选手都没打过世界赛，所以当时都很紧张。但我们是就 BO， 我觉得我们队打 BO5的时候就比较厉害吧，就打出自己的就可好好发挥。然后 BOE 的话，可能说运气太差了，然后我那个2个坦克英雄玩的不是很好。
So we were very nervous in the group stages in BO1s. None of us have ever made it to Worlds. I think our team is much stronger in the BO5s. For the BO1s, I think I was unlucky. And for the 2 tanks that I played, I don't think I did very well on them.
Okay, now it isn't always easy to come to another region and play when a lot of fans are cheering for your opponent. But it didn't seem to bother you. What has been your experience of playing in this arena today?
来到另外一个赛区，然后在别人的主场打比赛，其实算是一件压力很大的一个事情。那你目前来到这边的欧洲的这个世界赛场打比赛，你目前有什么样的感觉？
其实我很喜欢就马德里，是因为我喜欢看足球。然后还有一个是，我觉得大家都真的很热情，因为我们不管是我们拿人头，还是对面就 Fnatic 拿人头，大家都喊的声音都很大。我觉得粉丝们都很热情。
I really love Madrid because I love soccer as well. And I think the fans are just so passionate. It doesn't matter if we're the ones getting the kills or the opponents getting the kills. Everyone is cheering so incredibly loud.
And I think we need to make a special mention of your beautiful wife and the fan club that is always making so much noise. Do you want to give a shout out to those loyal fans who have been cheering for you all day?
就是我们在现场有听到你的太太就是大声的帮你加油，你有没有话想要对就是在台下大声帮你努力高喊的人说什么？
么么哒，
么么哒 ，which means.
Oh, that is very lovely. Now, lovely that you shout out the fans, but there are more matches to come, and your semifinals is versus your LPL colleagues of IG. What do you want to say to them?
接下来在4强赛的话，会遇到的是同样来自 LPL 的 IG， 你有什么话想对他们说吗？
其实我8强跟4强是不想遇到我们 LPL 的战队，因为这样有一个战队会输嘛，然后要回去嘛。我觉得没办法，因为这次抽签就是这样的。但我觉得也是挺好的，因为不管谁赢都有机会拿个冠军，会进决赛嘛。我觉得加油吧，我们不管是我们赢还是他们赢，都赢下来，把冠军留在我们 LPL， 加油！
I really didn't want to meet another LPL team in quarterfinals or semifinals because it meant that whatever happened, someone would have to go home. But against IG, all I wanted to say is, Jayo, let's keep this championship in the LPL. Jayo.
There we go. Jayo for Doinby and FPX. Shisha, thank you very much. You as well, Clement. Doinby and FPX make it to the semifinals.
Thank you, Shox. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Worlds Cooldown. I am Freak, joined by Raz and Frost to break down our first day of quarterfinals. I gotta say, my pick'ems are safe. How about you two?
Woo! Look, my first series definitely made it not safe.
Yeah, yeah.
But at least I got what I wanted.
I actually predicted Invictus Gaming on the first series.
Did you have the right one for
Just for my pickups though, like just
Okay.
random.
Okay.
Oh
All
my
right.
goodness.
Either way, very exciting series, by the way. Got to point out that after that great interview, our Oppo player of the game is Doinby. I mean, had some amazing Rise games. Nearly even saved Game 3 by himself.
Yes!
Like, dude was popping off.
And I just have to say this, Doinby is a Korean streamer turned professional LPL player. He is not a Chinese citizen, and he just gave an interview in Mandarin. He didn't play in the LCK, he only played in the LPL. He has made his career as an LPL player, and I just need to really underline to people how much he is the heart and soul of FPX and just a pillar now of the LPL. Doinby is an LPL superstar.
And just watching this series, a lot of it will just be about, of course, Doinby had heroic plays on his Rise. He got a lot, by the way. That one was a bit surprising to me.
Yeah.
But also just Tien. Tien had a fantastic series. He definitely out-jungled Broxah. It hurts to say from, of course, the European fans. But, like, this is something that you should be looking towards if you are an LPL fan, knowing that both Tien and Doinby are locked in for sure.
Yeah, and it's actually just an amazing story for Doinby because this guy has been so good for, I mean, a couple years now, and just every time he chokes, like we hear all his old teams, and every time it's like, ooh, but nope, sorry, no titles. And finally, right, wins this split, and then comes on and, oh, but at Worlds though, that stage, sorry, you're still the choker, and then finally comes in, puts in, I would say, one of his best performances up against Fnatic, and now he's got to go get a date with IG. Like,
Again,
that's a run.
I mean, this is a guy that made his debut in 2015. 2015 LPL was just stacked. That was the LGD year, the year that Edward Gaming won MSI. And yeah, LGD had that collapse at Worlds, but that shouldn't tarnish how competitive the region was. And Doinby in his first split in summer with the Chaogu Reapers went 3-2 and lost the final,
Yes.
just barely missing out on their Worlds ticket. So like, this guy has been, as you're saying, right there.
Yeah,
and
at all
just
times.
cut down at the very last second. With Rogue Warriors, his most recent team before FunPlus, he dominated spring and summer again, and it was only on FunPlus that he finally was able to translate regular season dominance into playoff results and lift his first title.
Yeah, it's inspirational to see because like there is always a rejuvenated conversation about who is the best player that hasn't made it to Worlds just yet.
It's Doinby.
And it was Doinby.
Yeah.
And so Doinby finally made it to it, and then finally when he's there, some people were even saying, does he win the Dade Award simply because of like, he didn't actually play poorly, it was actually LWX to be fair, so I'll give him that slide, but that was just a bad group stage. And
yeah.
A lot of people took those best of ones to heart and said, this is what we'll see from this team consistently. And a lot of the times when you see those group stage performances, those are lessons for them to learn coming back into the knockout stage. It's the knockout stage that people will remember. And so I had confidence that they'll be able to go back to what was a consistent FPX in the split, and I was happy to see that.
It's also just the volatility of FunPlus Phoenix and Invictus Gaming. You got to see kind of both sides of the coin. FunPlus Phoenix played amazing on the day, but again, going back to the group stage, whereas IG have very wildly different games, and this is what you should expect. It is high variance, it's high volatility, but at its peak, it is amazing League of Legends to watch.
And we'll talk about IG in a little bit. Of course, that's our other series from the day. I do want to spend some time on the other side of this matchup that we just saw. It is a eulogy for Fnatic. All three LEC teams made it out of groups. Well done. That is awesome, incredible plays. Sadly, the first LEC team to fall is Fnatic here. They at least brought in a game, but they did not seem to be matched for FunPlus.
I mean, frankly, pound for pound talent-wise, they were just outclassed. I think maybe you can give some shout-outs to them on a couple of plays. Nemesis had, I think, a decent series. Reckless was trying his hardest, but otherwise, there was a lot of skill shots that weren't landing. There was a lot of just, what was that? What are you thinking? What are you doing there? So the series was frankly just a wild mess from Fnatic. And I think even in the game they won, FPX just looked like a much tighter team.
I think what's heartbreaking is being able to see this performance and it not lining up with that week 2 that we've seen from them in the group stage. Because, like for me, consistency is always a factor and you want to see the team at their best. I didn't necessarily see that. What did you think, Frost?
I understand what you're saying, and I definitely think that they're, was this Fnatic at their best? I think Fnatic got their comfort picks. I'm going to say, yeah, I actually think this was Fnatic throwing their best shot. I think maybe some people start to poke holes in some of their drafting. Like, obviously, people will tunnel in on that Rengar pick, but otherwise, Fnatic got a ton.
the best shape on their team.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, Fnatic got a ton of comfort picks. They ran compositions that they ran all the time, and they simply just misexecuted, made the wrong choice, the wrong decision making, and they also got outclassed. Like, it was FPX also dodging all of those skill shots. So I think actually this series was not just the better team on the day, but just the better team won.
And I just don't want people going out of this one and really trying to attack the draft consistently for Fnatic, because I think a lot of the times conversations really simplify to, did G2 or did Fnatic lose? Well, let's just go for the draft, right? Execution in this series was pretty important for me because you're right. Whipple had a great game on the Rengar. Like, he had a pretty decent series from what I saw, and a lot of the times...
I mean, save for that KO performance.
Exactly. But they weren't, I wouldn't say actively thinking, but certainly like thinking about how to best play out their compositions. What I saw and when they went up against SKT, though in that SKT game was very linearized, so they can play the same style. But I was starting to see more active thinking of how to best play their composition in week 2. This time around, I saw them playing away from that, and I think that's fairly unfortunate. But even still, you know, just as a takeaway, I love the fact that Fnatic still had that run, because people wouldn't even be having this conversation if they just died in groups.
Yes.
But they had such a heroic moment. This will definitely go down, much like their last heroic moment at Worlds in Worlds history, and I think that they should remember the goods as well.
Fnatic got put in the group of death. They went 1 with SKT, 1 with Orange.
Yes.
Good enough to get out. Top 8 is pretty good, right? This is not the LEC champion. There are still ones to hold out for. We do have to move forward, though, right? I want to still give my props to Fnatic, but let's talk about the other series today. Invictus Gaming versus Griffin. This is another one, maybe an even tighter one, where it was really hard to know which team was going to truly be better. Turns out it was Invictus Gaming.
Now, Frosky weren't a part of this desk, maybe for the best. I looked at
I'm
this.
really happy that I missed this.
So my initial take was that this was going to be the best series of the tournament, and boy, was I wrong. Because there's a certain level of faith that I had in Griffin, and I thought that Griffin would have shed that, basically that poor aura that they had throughout the entire career on a mainstay level of going into a best of 5 and playing their best. I'm not talking about getting blown out 0-3. I'm talking about just seeing what we see from them in the group stage, in the regular season. That was not the case. They actually just consistently made poor decisions. Like,
I think there's 3 things that I want to take away from this day.
Okay.
The first one is a conversation about kind of the return of the LPL, the rise to power. There was that blemish of the MSI drop to TL, but now you have 2 LPL teams going through KR and LEC and rising to the top. I think that there's a conversation about, could you have predicted this from Griffin? Because I know there's that joke about the best of 5 where they choke, but I think it's a very different animal. And then there's a conversation about looking at Invictus Gaming and deciding whether these truly are return to world-class form. Was that the Ning that won MVP finals? Was that the same Baolan? And I don't think that that's still the strongest form of Invictus Gaming, which maybe that's terrifying, but that's kind of like where I look at that series and where I look at this day is kind of those 3 talking points.
And I'll talk to the IG point, because to the IG point, they are getting better and better. It's showcased. Like, the Shy and Rookie had always been the focus, and to be fair, there was one game, if I'm nitpicking, that Rookie played poorly in, one of the Kiana games. But Ning was on form, and he may not have been the finals MVP Ning, but he's getting there. The fact that in the group stage it was like, oh my God, he's such a non-factor. In fact, he's a negative factor.
Yeah, sure.
But then in this series, he was in points, a lot of points out playing Tarzan. And then super playing out, like a lot of the Lee Sin game rings to mind where his kicks were on point. He was setting up a lot of the great fights. But then there was always that caveat of, oh, but he overextended and he died in that. And if that didn't happen, then certainly he's in the vibe for like MVP of the series. And I think that's how close it is that really just kind of hone in. It's like, I can take this kill and head out. We don't need to go for more. And I think that we're going to be seeing a better and better IG in the next series.
I mean, one of the things we talked about with IG was, well, part of the reason that Summer Split isn't so good was Rookie wasn't playing initially, and there's, a month without the normal starting roster, so you get him back in, you sort of reintegrate. I mean, Ning hadn't played since August, up until week 2 of groups, right? Like, they benched him, like, for the last week of regular season. He played 2 games in the playoffs, lost both of those, completely gone for the regional qualifier, completely gone for week 1 of groups. Okay, well, he's getting reintegrated too, and if he's ramping up this quickly, well, if your next 2 matches, maybe he gets there.
That's my thing. Go for it.
I don't know if FPX will be the team that exposes this in Invictus Gaming, as that's now the matchup. But I'm sure it was talked about during the cast, there were just massive vision problems with Invictus Gaming. That still is a far from perfect team. There are exploitable holes. They just don't deny wards, and they don't play side lanes. The fact is that the Shy sitting on Yasuo with like a ridiculous CS lead. He's like, I need to look for the teleport. I need to team fight right now. It's like, no, man, just run it down the side lane. So
that was the most frustrating part of it, by the way. This was, even though, like, remember the expectation that I had was that this was going to be the best series. This is probably the worst series. I haven't even seen the next 2 series.
You've already signed it off.
But like, this is one of the moments where I was just like, Jackie Love kept going in.
I will say this though, there's a conversation that I saw on social about people assuming that FPX and Griffin had scrimmed because you saw kind of a similar champion pool of like these weird tanks, the poppies appearing into the mid lanes. But we just saw FPX. They looked nothing like what we saw out of Griffin. So maybe it's true. Maybe there is suspicion there. But otherwise, I'm like, you got the wrong end of those scrims because FPX came flying in with like comfort picks, standard League of Legends, carries in the mid lane. I just wanted to see Chovy carry.
I mean, Chovy did look good on the tanks, but you're right. It's not the same types of things that we saw out of DoNB, obviously. Moving forward now to what we're going to see for the rest of this World Championship. 2 more quarterfinals coming in you know, about a half a day. And we're going to figure out who's going to decide the semifinal. SKT versus Splice starts the day. Damwon versus G2 is next up. Those are going to be fun.
Guaranteed LPL finals. Actually, yes.
You just ignored?
No, but I looked at that and I agree, like the next few series are going to be exciting, but like just even taking a look at this feels like that breath of fresh air. I love it.
This guy just tunnels in.
Have your squads alive.
But let me tell you about that semi-final. No, I mean, obviously you have the, so here's the thing. SKT versus Splice is literally easy, or the easiest like taking care of business, taking out the trash
this
ever.
Should be a 3-0.
Or it's literally the biggest upset in World's history. Like those are the 2 extremes.
This to me, like if Splice win this one, that to me is a bigger upset than Teal over IG. Like, no
absolutely.
Question. No question. If Splice win, it is hands down the biggest upset in Pro League history. I don't think there's a comparison anymore.
Yeah, and I think my takeaway from this series is going to be really interesting because SKT, in my mind, hasn't had a real meaningful loss. Like when they went up against Fnatic, in that loss, it was interesting because like the draft and how they played into it, I was like, okay, well, they're just consistently diving into a Fnatic with like Veigar and heavy team fighting. Like they can just group up and it would feel like, you know, SKT can take their takeaway from that game would be like draft related and more so like just have like an active mentality in these team fights. But past that point, in their wins versus RNG, they were very sloppy wins. The TF game in particular is one that they consistently tried to team fight into RNG and then realized at the end they just needed to look for a 1-3-1 far more frequently. So that's my worry is that in the wins that they had during group stage, that didn't look like favorites SKT.
The problem is that I just think you almost need to take everything that you knew from group stage and need to put it in the bin.
Okay.
Because it clearly doesn't mean anything. Everyone was like, knee-jerk reaction. Griffin is the best team. Like after you just saw them completely dismantle G2. FPX don't even look like the strongest pool 1C. That's obviously who you want to get. And it's a completely different animal when you enter that best of 5. And when I look at someone like SKT, like I understand there were some shaky moments or like small glimpses that you're like, okay, I've got it. I've got the theory. I've taken the notes. This is how we beat them. But the reality is that, you know, Faker's in amazing form, and SKT are an incredible beast when it comes to best of 5. So I just think anything that you thought you knew about group stage, it doesn't matter. Go back to the tournament favorites, go back to the experience, and go back to the domestic expectations, because that's what is rounding out.
And just so you know, what the conversation really is for me is that even though I see these holes, I think at best it turns into a 3-1. Like it's basically me saying that Splice will find that one game. And that's what I'm kind of starting to inch for. I haven't made my official predictions just yet.
Yeah.
Would you like
to
maybe I flop.
Splice a game.
Maybe I flop, but I'm saying that Splice could take a game because they've looked pretty good at the very end.
All right, we'll see, of course, what happens that one. Next up, G2 versus Damwon Gaming. That one is definitely exciting. There's actually a great tweet from, I forget, maybe it was Perks on G2, who was like, getting second out of the group, not feeling so bad anymore, because of course, the first out of the group got clapped by IG, so they got to dodge the IG matchup. But they're up against Damwon Gaming, who have also, we talk about, you know, these teams and what kind of shape they're in. Damwon's gotten better and better and better, right? Fairly shaky when you look at them in the play-in stage overall. You look at them in week 1, they lost to Cloud9. Hey, what's going on there? You look at them week 2, and they run the course, right? No problem at all. Damwon's back to top form. So are we going to see that level of Damwon? And on the G2 side, I mean, are we MSI champions G2 or are we...
So I don't think we'll be quite MSI G2. I think they'll certainly look much better. My only thing is I will look more towards the top side of the map for G2 because I'm certainly going to be expecting weak side, them trying to concede quite a bit so like they can play towards Perks, who's actually performing really well, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
Best performing member on G2.
Yes, for sure. And I'm looking towards, I think I stock ranked 80 carries as Teddy and Perks, but you can definitely change that around for sure. So I would love to see G2 play towards bot side. They will look better than they did on their last day. I'm almost guaranteeing that. But then I would look to Damwon and say that they have the pieces to really kind of mimic what Griffin did to G2, specifically Canyon, a very smart jungler, great control jungler. And as long as he's able to rally topside, then I think this will definitely be a close series just because of the jungle matchup alone in my eyes. I think Canyon is a spectacular person.
I think Canyon has a smaller active champion pool than Jankos does, but I think Canyon has been a more consistent performer than Jankos has at this tournament. I think Jankos' day 2 was fairly shaky, but again, it's like, what does group stage actually teach us about these best of 5 series? I think if G2 show up and play their best League of Legends versus Damwon's best League of Legends, I would still favor G2 because Perks, I think, has redefined himself from MSI Perks to Worlds Perks as being a true world-class ADC, one of the best top 2 performing of this tournament, whereas Damwon have a fairly weak bot lane, even when they're playing their best.
Then basically, we're both leaning to G2. I think what's realistic is that it either goes to 4 or what I'm projecting to be 5 games. I think it will go the distance with how well
G2 always go to 5 games.
Uh-oh.
The only series they haven't gone to 5 games was Origin and TL.
Yep. And those were respectively faster stomps as time went on. I'm very excited for what these solo lanes look like, because one player I'll point out is I don't think Wonder is playing like his best as far as that one, so I think Nagri up there can maybe have a good time. I'm happy Caps seems back on. He doesn't seem like summer split Caps. He seems like earlier on Caps, so I think he can maybe on his best hold up Showmaker, but Showmaker's been very good as well. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of really amazing matchups.
I just think so much of this is decided by jungle support. You keep hearing the casters talk about it, the analyst desk has talked about it, so I agree with you. Like, there is a potential where Damwon can split this map and say, throw everything topside. We have the better performing solo laners versus the bot side just going up for G2. But at the end of the day, for me, it's Mickey and Jankos versus Beryl and Canyon.
And the thing is, what's funny is even though we kind of talk about the fact that Nuclear is maybe the weak link on Damwon, like, his stats are actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's like a KDA leader on the team. Like, he's holding up pretty well, and even though everyone's like, oh, you just attacked Nuclear, they're all about solo, like, he's doing fine.
Yeah, he's been playing Kai'Sa, to be fair, but also to the main point is that his team fights have just been great. I will always remember the IG versus Damwon team fight. I think it was the last game for them for that series in week 2. That
Did you say his team fights have been great?
yeah, okay. I'm talking about the last, like the most recent ones have been great.
I got some
Oh,
footage
you don't
for
like
us.
him.
All right,
You don't like
you know
him.
Do we need to pull the B-roll?
We'll let him show us tomorrow. Let him show us tomorrow.
There you go.
There's going to be some exciting matchups.
Okay.
If you missed any of today's action, make sure to stay tuned for the rebroadcast taking place shortly after we go dark. That's going to complete our coverage of the first half of the quarterfinal bracket. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more of the 2019 League of Legends World Championship.
Mate,
I believe in Nuclear.
he flies in on Kai'Sa and instantly dies.
Oh my.
He's creating pressure.
What are you willing to lose?
And they're going to have Zorb on the Zonians. They've knocked down one, but it's only the Gragas. That's a big ult from Sword. Is the re-engage enough? Rookie's off in the wing, but Kagma refuses to die. He's on 4. Looks for Chovy. It's stolen away. Rookie denies the Penta. Chovy's inside the pit, forced away, and he's going to jump back to his squad. 4K health. The Shy in the backline. Switches it, but it means doesn't have trouble. A lot of damage. Rookie's getting the poke down. Jackie Love into the pit. Gets the kill. Will not die.
So are you gonna do?
Puts down the pool, but is there enough damage? They're gonna try. They ult over the top, and it's already a 2 for 0. Viper doesn't die, but one finally comes through. It's up to Jackie Love, but he gets stunned. Clutch from Tarzan, but Morgana can't find it either. Viper stays alive. That's the full pentakill. As Rookie could use to fight up there, and now the Shy just tower dive with impunity. Invictus Gaming came to defend their world championship, and they're gonna do just that, and they will knock down Griffin in the quarterfinals.
Stop now. We'll let him swallow the pride.
Predator, hopping and skipping and jumping onto FPX. He does get shut down on the fray. Where is Broxah? Hylissang stepping forward. He's got the ultimate available. Moves into the pit. Soulstone. Now FPX. They've secured the Baron. But at what cost? Broxah is already down.
So are you gonna do?
Reckless is chasing forward. Nautilus ultimate knocks him up into the air. He dives forward. Reckless's shield keeps him up, keeps him alive, keeps him pushing forward, gets him a double, looking for the triple. Here's the target, dashes forward. Reckless is on the board, he gets the first of the fray, but it's at the cost of Nemesis's life. He didn't use the flash. Reckless gets over the wall, and now the chase back. Chris continues to move forward. Doobie forced to flash, or at least moving away with the flash, and Hylissang's already dead. The inhibitor falls. There goes Broxah trying to get some damage. Gibbs in trouble. Buys some time with Hexing Ultimatum. That's a dead Nemesis. Fun plus Phoenix have shut down Fnatic and advance to an all-LPL semi-final. Fun plus will face Invictus Gaming.